Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. Hope you guys been enjoying the content on the channel as of late. Excuse me if I seem a little just out of it. Just kind of been in a quarantine just because family got sick. So hopefully this will be the last of it. It's been like 2 weeks because I got sick for a week, and now someone else in my family got sick. So it's just been 2 weeks of us just kind of kind of iffy. So hopefully this will be the last of it. Hopefully by tomorrow everything will be back to normal. But um, yeah. So that's why also you might notice that I'm not in my usual setup. That's just because I'm not currently in my room. That's being occupied by somebody else. Um, but um, but yeah, just wanted to explain all that just in case you're like, wow, what happened to the setup and all that stuff, and all that, just the flu season is up, and we're just gotta hunker down for a minute. But um, but anyways, let's get into this subject because this is an interesting subject. Because my water bottle keeps making noises, it keeps popping. Um, this discussion today is going to be about Warner Brothers because an article came out a few days ago, and it discussed a lot about Warner Brothers' financial decisions, a lot of the stuff that they have done recently under a new regime, and a lot of the mentalities that seem to be over at the company right now. And just to give an overview as to what the article was basically addressing, it started with talking about Tom Cruise and the deal that he made at Warner Brothers. And we kind of touched on this a tiny bit with when we discussed the whole Paramount merger. We kind of, discussed that a little bit, I think. If I didn't, just to bring up how I feel about it, because I think that it's a very smart move, what he's doing, because with the merger that is potentially happening between Warner Brothers and Paramount. I mean, it was very, very early when that information came out, but the fact is that that is a thing, something that's being discussed and seems to be coming into reality now. And Tom Cruise making that deal at Warner Brothers, I feel like also gives more validity to that claim, to that idea that they're probably going to be merging together. And I think it's a smart move for Tom Cruise. I think that it's a good business decision because obviously, he has great relations with Paramount. He's done the Top Gun movies, Mission Impossible films, and he has, so he has like really good relationships over at Paramount. And if there's going to be a merger in the future between Warner Brothers and Paramount, it just makes sense that because Warner Brothers is probably going to be taking more priority over Paramount, so it's like kind of like a Disney Lucasfilm sort of thing where it's under WB's umbrella, not where the two are, hand in hand. It's just a part of their company, basically. So it makes sense that Tom Cruise would establish a deal like this very early so that he already can build a relationship with Warner Brothers years before the merger is completed. So it makes sense. It's a very smart move. And within that deal, there are a couple of possibilities. So because they were trying to see how they can utilize him under this new deal. One of those ideas potentially is a sequel to Edge of Tomorrow, which a lot of people or some people have been asking for. I think some people just, on the trendy side, just like, oh, wouldn't it be cool to see an Edge of Tomorrow too? I don't personally care too much. I mean, like, it was fine, but I'm not like salivating over a sequel. And the other idea, it kind of spoiled, I think, or kind of gave away some impending like news, is working with Quentin Tarantino on his new film, The Movie Critic, which at the current moment does not have a distributor. Sounds like Sony might be getting it because they distributed his last film, which was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So they are close to making a deal with that, but Warner Brothers is trying to get in there and hopefully obtain, that film. And it sounds like Tom Cruise could be a part of that, if that, if certain things line up. So, um, but this is all good stuff. This all right here is good stuff because it's building up relationships with actors and with certain individuals. So this is all good stuff. Right now, all the stuff I've laid out is good for the company. Now, what I'm gonna lay out, the rest of the stuff I'm gonna lay out, I think, is the opposite in how this benefits the company. So, what they also revealed in the article was a lot to do with spending, and one of the big things that they revealed was the price tag for Joker 2, Joker Folie à Deux, I believe that's how you say it. Initially, the first film was 60 million, right? Just to compare and contrast. So the first film was 60 million, and the price for Joker 2 is going to be $200 million. $200 million. And the reason for that is because the actors have gotten in on negotiations and gotten big paydays from it. Joaquin Phoenix getting like 20 million something, Lady Gaga getting like 12, 13. And with it being a musical, with just the writing, what kind of story they're wishing to tell with musicals, so obviously big set pieces and what have you. That's why the price tag is as heavy as it is. That's, as I kind of said up front, like that's a blend of both creatives and also with the executives. Like I could see where Warner Brothers is coming from, because they're hoping that because of how Joker performed, which I think is more of an isolated incident, just because of just all the buzz around that film, with people saying it's like ultra violent and all this stuff. That's why people came to watch the film, because there was all that controversy and stuff that plagued it. And you just drawing that name value, Joker, you're gonna get asses in seats. But that's why it blew up the way it did. I don't know if Joker 2 is going to have that same effect. I think that it will make money. I definitely think that Joker 2 is destined to make money. But to now solidify, to now mandate that the movie has to make a certain amount, because when you say that a movie is $200 million, you're saying that movie has to match now what the original film made. It has to make at least $1 billion in order to break even. And that's... I don't know if Joker 2 has those kind of legs. I don't. I think that it's going to make money, but like the question is that will it make as much as the original? And I just doubt that. So I don't think that's particularly smart to be putting in so much money, towards anything at this point, especially because here's the big thing about this whole article, because we'll get into other projects that they also discussed, one of which with Paul Thomas Anderson, which also, from what I've read, has a bit of a price tag also, because there's things with Leonardo DiCaprio getting a big payday as well. And the reason why this is not a good thing for Warner Brothers right now is because it might seem a little bit ignorant, but it's a very important thing to bring up. 2023 was a bad year for Warner Brothers. It was a bad year. I mean, it was a rough year. Let's be a little bit nicer. It was a rough year. All their superhero things flopped. Not one single thing in that genre from Warner Brothers turned a profit. Everything flopped. The Flash failed. Aquaman failed. Blue Beetle failed. What else came out last year from Warner Brothers? I forgot. But trying to remember, what was that other film? I forgot. But point is that Warner Brothers had a pretty rough year, and also outside of superhero stuff, in addressing specifically musicals, because Joker 2 is going to be marketed as a musical. The Color Purple, which just came out back in December, bombed, lost about $40 million for Warner Brothers. So it was, 2023 was a rough year for film in general, but WB specifically had it pretty rough, especially with The Flash, which lost them a ton of money, and that was a $200 million plus film, with heavy marketing and all this sort of stuff. Big summer release, tentpole. Um, so it's just to say that there should be more concern as to how much you're spending. I think it's smart to be putting out Joker 2. Like, I think that they're following more in line of Disney and what they're in their line of thinking, and that let's put out what we know is guaranteed to at least bring in money. So that's why they're pushing back all these other films, and Disney doing the same with their other superhero projects, because, well, they just don't have faith in those, and they're hoping to regenerate interest by pushing forward notable IPs, existing franchises that people like, established interest, using that established interest to hopefully generate new interest. And that's a smart move. But what's not smart is to invest so much money. I hate this mentality of spending more to get more. That doesn't always work, and especially for Warner Brothers, it has not been working. So on one hand, you have that deal with Tom Cruise, which I think is a very smart move, and I think that the company should be focusing more on that, establishing relationships, gaining exclusivity for certain content. That's what companies should be concerning themselves more. Film companies proper, investing as much money as you're putting into the film, because let's just be realistic. Joker 2 was going to be near $100 million. Especially because of just the negotiations that were happening with the actors and stuff like that. It wasn't going to be like $70-80 million. Of course it wasn't. We're gearing towards $100 million. But my point is that you could have probably have shot for 100 or 110 million, but we had to balloon all the way up to 200 million. And you're making it more difficult, because who knows, especially when you look at last year. You would think that their immediate response would be okay, how do we strategize here? How do we deal with this? Because we've just put in a shit ton of money on Joker 2. Do you think that was a good, I wonder if they're just you should, your immediate thought should be, maybe don't invest more, maybe just hold off. Even better, maybe just spend less to get better results. That's what I think your strategy should be, but it doesn't seem like that's the case for Warner Brothers right now. Their incentive right now is just to spend more to hopefully get more. And I worry that something like Joker 2 is probably not going to give them the results that they're looking for. Because I don't think that's going to do $1 billion. Because you're also facing fatigue on two fronts. One, for the genre. People are just getting tired of superheroes. But also, you're facing fatigue for just the theatrical experience in general. People generally are just getting tired of going to the theater. 2023 has been an illustration of that. It doesn't matter really what genre it was. A lot of films flopped. A lot of big, tentpole films flopped. Because there's a lack of interest to go spend a certain amount when streaming is now as dominant as it is now. And you can thank companies for giving audiences that awareness, and for putting out films faster than they usually would come out on streaming. So that's more of the company's fault than anything. But what I'm saying with all this stuff is that I don't know if these bets, if these sort of decisions are going to be a benefit to them. My gut feeling is that it's a bad idea, and I feel that coming off from 2023, your priority should be establishing better relationships, getting more relationships with different uh, uh, with different companies, different people, like individuals like Tom Cruise, and making cheaper and safer bets. Because, like I said, yes, Joker 2, that, like, yes, that's a film like in the same context as like Deadpool 3. When you think of Disney, yes, it's smart to put out that film as soon as possible because there's already established interest there, and you can make more. You could potentially make uh, a certain amount if you put it out now, because of the state of things. I understand the mentality why you put certain films out now and push other films out later. Um, but as a precaution, I would have not put so much money on the table. That's my thing. Like if Joker 2 was like, let's just like be realistic, like 120 million. That's a safer bet. But now we're looking at 200 million, so the movie has to make $1 billion. It has to. At least $1 billion. 900 to a billion. And I don't know. I don't think that's smart. I just don't think that. And even in the article, there's people that were some insiders also saying the same thing, saying that the math doesn't add up and that it seems very risky for the company to be doing stuff like this. So, and I agree. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be. I don't think financially it's just going to really work out for them, because this year so far it's not been great. So far it's been still pretty shitty for how film's been performing. I mean, Mean Girls did all right. I mean, Mean Girls, because Mean Girls also didn't look to spend triple digits. It was like 30 something million. Like that's a safer bet than something like this. So so yeah, I don't think it was. I just don't think it's smart right now to be spending more money, especially because your company, like Warner Brothers, of all the companies last year that had a bad year, Warner Brothers had the worst year. They did not have a good year last year. So it's just strange to see that the mentality over there is, okay, well, let's just go ahead and spend more money. I don't know. But then again, also these decisions were made years prior, so this is decisions that happened in like 2022, within 2023. Depending on when these decisions were made, perhaps they just didn't catch wind of just how things were going to shape out in 2023, or maybe they did know and they still decided to move forward in this direction. Because I don't know, I'm just trying to be considerate of just when these decisions might have been made, because there's no exact information on that of when these decisions were made. Because if these decisions came pre 2023, I could understand like where the price tag may have come from, because there was still that mentality of like, oh well, we can spend big and we could still gain lots of profit, because there was that mentality still of studios, big corporations, that theater experience is still relevant and all that sort of stuff, but now we're in the post 2023, and now studios are very hesitant to put out anything now in theaters. So and now trying to make safer bets. So it very much depends on when that decision was made. But regardless, though, because of where we're at now, I have doubts. I have doubts that those decisions are going to pay off. So yeah, and you motherfuckers better promote Joker 2 as a musical. Don't do the bullshit that studios are doing with musicals, where they just are not promoting it that way. No, you fuckers promote it as a musical, okay? Don't do the Mean Girl shit where don't deceive your audience. Promote it as the film that it is. If it is a straight musical, because that's what I've been hearing, it's going to be a straight musical, your ass better promote it as a musical, and don't trick us just because, well, there's a chance that we may not make money because it's a musical, then you shouldn't have made a fucking musical. But yeah, so it's a little risky what they're doing, and I have doubts that it's going to pay off. So I don't think that the mentality over there should be to spend more. The mentality should be to get better relationships, strategize, and make safer bets within smaller budgets, not balloon our budgets. You should be deflating budgets. That should be kind of your goal, is to like have medium-sized budgets. If it has to be three digits, like I said, Joker 2, it seemed like it was going to be 3 digits regardless. Try to get it as close to like 100 million. With 200 million, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think that's going to work out. But we'll see. But those are my thoughts on that article that came out, because that was like a big pile of information that was like released. But you guys let me know. Do you guys think, strategy-wise, do you guys think that's smart for them to be investing so much into certain movies, specifically with Joker 2? How do you guys feel about the whole Tom Cruise thing? Him potentially gearing up for Edge Tomorrow 2, or potentially working with Quentin Tarantino on his film? Because that's me, is what they should be focusing on more, is getting more deals like that. Because that was a smart move from Tom Cruise, and just a win for Warner Brothers in general. And your thoughts on just spending in general? Do you agree with the mentality at Warner Brothers, or do you think more of what I'm saying, where you should invest in more medium-sized, cheaper budgets to hopefully gain bigger results? Because you have to be able to combat the fatigue that's forming with audiences, generally speaking. That's the hill that you have to, the mountain that you have to climb right now, like, and it's only going to get steeper. That whole hill, that whole mountain, it's just only going to get steeper in a couple of years. So, but you guys want to let me know all your thoughts in the comment section below, and that's gonna be it for me, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in, and until then, I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye.